Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. There is this other message that I received on my Facebook Messenger. Your strange things, they do happen in this world. So there is just a small video that I was just trying to see if I know how to do drama. So I posted a video on Facebook as well as on TikTok. Then there is this other man who is a traditional healer. This is the message that he sent to me. So that one, it was just a drama. It's not like that is what I am thinking of doing, to go and do money rituals, to those that did not understand. So the message that the traditional healer sent to me after you watched that video, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? I am one of your followers. I see the video that you have posted. If you have anything that is troubling you, do not worry, because I can assist you. When I saw the video, I thought that this can be a perfect opportunity for you and me to work together. How about we do this? I give you some charms that can help you to become famous, and in return, all that I would require from you is if you will be able to provide for me a platform where I can market the work that I do, so that I can get customers from your YouTube channels, people that would come to my shrine. So it can be a win-win situation for you and for me as well. There are charms that I have assisted people that want to be famous with. These charms, they can be used by people that have churches that want to be famous, musicians. So if you want, you can come to my shrine. Right now I am based in South Africa, but I do have a home that is in a village in Rusape. So we can make an arrangement. Then when we are in Zim, you and I, we can go to my village in Rusape. Then I can assist you if you can give me a platform for me to get some customers. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received from one of our brother, right? The strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Can you imagine? Let us talk about this in the comment section. Then there is another message that I received. The message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you, Brother Nashi? Can you please post my story as anonymous? So my name, you'll call me Ruth. I was born and I was raised in Harare in Zimbabwe. That is where I do come from. Currently, I am living in Leeds in the United Kingdom. I am aged 41 years old. I came to the United Kingdom. This was in the year 2010. I came here through my husband, whom I will call Tapiwa, who had already been working as a nurse for 3 years. At first, our life was like a dream. I was living the best of my life. We were that typical Zimbabwean couple that was trying to make it in the diaspora. We were working and we worked double shifts, saving money, sending groceries back home, and all that was on my mind was relocating back home. I had a dream of building our own house in a quiet neighborhood in Harare where we were going to retire. Of course, we would start some other businesses so that we can have a cash inflow, and we were just going to enjoy life with the way that me and my husband had planned everything and the way that we thought that life was going to turn out. But somewhere between the long shifts, we were always exhausted. To those that are living here in Europe, there is a time whereby you end up not even sleeping with each other because you are always exhausted. You can even spend a month without even having intimacy because of the work that you will be doing. So I was always exhausted. When you would try to touch me, I would tell him that I am really exhausted. And this led to a lot of frustrations that was happening between me and my husband. Love then started to die. He was someone that was so disconnected from me, and I, in turn, I think I also became distant towards him. He started sleeping on the couch to avoid waking me up. He stopped eating the food that I would have cooked. He stopped praying with me because we had watched this other movie and we had learned that a family that prays together will never separate. So this was what we used to do. Even when we were still in Zim, we made sure that we prayed together, but now he stopped praying with me altogether. At first, I thought that it was stress until one day I saw his phone light up at 2 a.m. I then grabbed the phone silently before he could even check the phone. That was when I realized that there was a message. This message, it was a pop-up message that said, "Good night, my love. I miss you already," and a kiss emoji. And I saw that this person that had sent the message, I knew this woman. There was this other Ghanaian nurse that he was working with from his workplace. I knew that woman as Amma, and my heart sank when I realized that this was what my husband had been doing all along with his workmate. I felt so much anger because I kept on thinking about the way that my parents and his parents had all contributed so that we can come to the United Kingdom, so that we can work. But here he was dating another woman. I felt so much shame in my heart. I felt so much confusion all at once. That was the night I broke down and I started to cry. The prayer that I said was like, "God, if you do not save my marriage right now, I am going to lose my mind." That was what I was feeling at that moment. So the next morning, whilst I was scrolling through Facebook, I saw a video. These were the years when people started doing live videos on Facebook. She was a woman that was from my country. That is why I was quick to trust her. I had never been to a white garment church ever in my life. The woman, she was dressed in a white dress and she was standing beside a bowl that was full of blue water and candles. She then started to prophesy, and it was as if she was speaking with me. She said, "If your husband has turned away, if you are on this life and then your husband has turned away from you, he is under spiritual manipulation. You have to call upon the marine angels." She did not start by saying the marine spirits. She started talking about marine angels so as to restore the love that I had lost, to restore my dignity. This woman, she was called Prophetess Madwe, and her page was called A Servant of the Kingdom of God, and she had a lot of people that were following her. And when I started reading the other women that were commenting in Shona, they were like, "Amen, I receive my madzimai," meaning that, "Prophetess, I have received, my husband is now back." So I was desperate at that time. I really did not care about what I was going to do. All that I wanted was for that woman to just help me so that I can get my husband back. I inboxed her immediately. She replied within minutes, and she said to me, "Sister, your husband is spiritually tied to another woman. I can help you to retrieve your husband through the marine kingdom. They restore what the enemy stole." And I said, "Okay, can you do it?" And she said, "Yes, I can do it for you, but this is a list that I have. The consultation fee, it is £350. The marine candles, it's £60, and sacred water from the ocean in Durban, where she was staying, even though she was from Zim, the water from Durban, it is going to cost you £80. I did not even think twice. I transferred the money. It was the next day. That is when I transferred the money. We consulted whilst I waited for my items to be shipped from South Africa. 7 days down the line, they came, and when I opened, I saw inside the parcel there were small bottles of the water from the ocean at Durban, and there were blue candles, and there was a handwritten letter that was written in Shona with candles. Mazuva manongwe munofana kuti munge mchimuka na 3 a.m., meaning that for 7 nights you are supposed to wake up at 3 a.m. and you have to pour cold water into your bathtub, and then you light the candles, and you have to call your husband's name 3 times. This you have to do after you would have finished your prayers. On the 7th day, you go to a cemetery and you call your husband's name 3 times. And when you have returned back home, try to bath yourself with the remaining water and calling the spirit of the waters to restore him back to you. I did as I had been instructed. I would pour the water into the bathtub and mix it with water that did not have soap, so that I won't finish all the water at once. The first night, nothing really happened. The second night, I saw a man that was standing outside by the window. The third night, then I started to have dreams about the woman that had stolen my husband, and I would tell everything that I would have seen in my dreams to the woman that was assisting me from Zim, like she had told me to tell her everything. And then I heard a voice that said to me, "He will return." But the surprising thing about it was that when I heard a voice that said, "He will return," in Shona, this woman that was speaking, it was as if that person was inside the water, and she was saying, "Acha Dzoka." That is the voice that I heard. When I heard this voice, I totally froze and I was really scared. I woke up and I saw that the light in the bedroom, it was switched off, then it started to be switched on and off, on and off. That is what was happening. And then I called the woman and I told her that this was what was happening, and she said everything is okay. Then after 2 weeks, then that was when my husband called me all of a sudden, and he was like, "I don't know what is happening to me. I miss you. I miss my wife. I just miss home." I started crying. I thought that it was a miracle. I did not even know that consulting with these marine spirits is like you have already joined the satanic kingdom. After his return, things got worse, and my husband, it was as if he was someone that was mentally ill, and he was no longer nice to be around. And my husband said that he always saw this woman that was sitting in our bed, and this woman that he would see sitting in our bed, she would be wet as if she had been pulled out of the water. I reconsulted again with the woman that had been assisting me, and the woman then told me that the lady that was my husband's mistress, that was from Ghana, that lady, she was someone that was very powerful, and her tribe were very powerful people, and her ancestors were protecting her. So there were things that needed to be done. When she told me that there were other things that had to be done, I said, "Okay, so what am I supposed to do? Are you going to send those items that we would have used in the ritual back to the UK?" And she said, "No, I need you physically here so that I can help you." So I then booked some flight tickets and I came to South Africa. I was staying at this other hotel in Durban. That was where we were doing these rituals. I did not even know that the rituals that we were doing, even though I suspected as to why we were using a coffin in the first place, because they brought a coffin, but it was not a big coffin. It was just a small coffin that can fit into a traveling bag. When she came for the ritual, she was with other 2 women. Those women, when I would try to look at them directly into their eyes, I felt something so evil that was hidden behind their eyes. And then they brought for me a white garment, like the women that go to the white garment church, like the garments that they wear. So they brought it for me, and then we started with the rituals. They told me that I was supposed to open up that coffin that they had brought into the hotel, and I was not supposed to be afraid. And I asked them, why would I be afraid? They said, just do not be afraid. Just know that whatever that we are going to do here, we are trying to save your husband from becoming mentally ill, because this woman, she wants your husband to go crazy, like him being mentally ill, so that I can dump her. Like the warning that they had given to me, they had said, do not be afraid when you open this coffin, because we are here to protect you. I opened that small coffin, and inside there was a Barbie doll. But this Barbie doll, it was as if they had dipped the Barbie doll into black paint, and they told me to stab that doll. When I looked at that Barbie doll that was inside the coffin, it was breathing. Yes, indeed, it was like a living being. They gave me a knife and they told me to stab it until that little coffin was full of blood. I knelt down, then I started stabbing. And each and every time when I was stabbing that Barbie doll, I was having flashes in my eyes, like there was a vision that I was seeing. I was stabbing that woman from Ghana that had been dating my husband. I stopped only after they had told me to stop, for it was enough. And then I received a phone call from my husband. He told me of a terrible accident that had happened. And I said, what do you mean? An accident has happened. And he said that the woman that he used to date, that woman had been involved in a terrible accident. That is what my husband told me. I returned back to the UK. I did not know that now I was part of the marine kingdom. There were a lot of men that started approaching me, proposing love to me, till I started cheating on my husband. And I knew that there was something that was wrong. I went to the pastor trying to confess to him, but the pastor stood from his chair and he came to where I was, and the pastor said to me, I have never seen such a beautiful woman like you before. Please just be mine. He took out his manhood and he made me to hold his manhood. Only at night, after I had slept with him, I saw a woman that rose up from the river, and she told me that I was now a daughter of the marine kingdom, and therefore they had a mission that they wanted me to complete, to sleep around with as many men as I can, like the way that I had slept with my pastor. This happened for many years until people in the family started to die. And when people would go to traditional healers, they were being told that I was a ritualist. I just booked a flight ticket after my other sister had passed away, and I returned back to Zim and I confessed everything to my relatives, what had happened. In secret, we went to Chipinge, where we did a ceremony to remove the marine spirits that I had brought into my life. So I want people to know that when you consult, especially with people that deal with marine spirits, you need to know that you will also be a part of the marine kingdom. It all started with me just feeling heartbroken because my husband had cheated on me. I did not know that this was where I was going to end up at. I never knew that the marine kingdom is so real like this. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Let us try to speak with our dear sister in the comment section. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Have you ever consulted with the marine spirits, with someone that deals with marine spirits? If so, you can come to my inbox and you share with me your own side of the story.